People all over the world are dying from lack of self-worth. Sadly, our unworthiness is killing us. I came face to face with this reality in May of 2018 when my son Andrew, who my husband and I had adopted at age 6, took his life. Andrew was 17. He was a tall, strong, athletic, beautiful young man, both inside and out, with a great sense of humor. Andrew was not mentally ill, as much of the suicide literature would have us believe. Like many of us, he was hurting. Obviously, his pain was very deep. His decision brought this epidemic of suicide, which I believe is an epidemic of unworthiness, to the forefront of my life. In case you are like me, at that time unaware of the statistics, let me share. Every year, globally, 800,000 people, that translates into one person every 40 seconds is taking their life. To put that into a little more perspective, by the time that I finish this 4-minute talk, somewhere around the world, including here in America, 6 people will have ended their life through suicide. That doesn't count the millions who attempt to take their life or the millions who slowly kill themselves through addictions. My son's suicide also revealed many stories from family and friends who themselves had struggled with unworthiness at a young age. Some of those stories had never been shared, including my own. At the age of 10, I felt like nobody loved me, like nobody cared about me. And because of this, I often felt like I just didn't want to exist, like it would be better if I were dead. Recalling my experience helped me to understand my son's pain, his sense of loneliness and unworthiness. How was he to develop self-worth and self-love at such a young age? I'm a therapist, and I know that it's not as easy as just telling someone to love themselves more or telling someone to hug their children more. We did. So quite frankly, I hate hearing shit like that. It's taken me years of conscious effort and learning to get to where I am. And it's always a work in progress. Self-worth is something that should have been nurtured into me, into Andrew, into all too many of us from the time that we were born. And yes, I know that is a judgment on my parents, a judgment on Andrew's biological parents, and perhaps on some of your parents. But I don't blame them, because I believe, some might disagree, but I believe that they did the best that they knew how. After Andrew's death, I made a promise. I would continue living my life helping others, especially young people, to genuinely heal from the wounds and the hurts and the limiting beliefs and programming that we often acquire at a very, very young age, often before we are 8 years old. And these can be the unconscious and subconscious drivers of our entire lives. I dream of the day when self-worth and well-being will be nurtured into every single child that is born into this world. We shouldn't have to spend decades or even a lifetime trying to develop self-worth. We just don't have the time for it, as the statistics on suicide so sadly and clearly demonstrate.